We all know that great systems are what truly sustains and allows you to be able to build anything that you want to have in your life. So, what is the School of Excellence system? Well, the School of Excellence system was created as an effect of hundreds and almost thousands of conversations that I've had with school leaders from all over the world. Hi, I'm Connie Wolshansky, mama of four and creator of the School of Excellence system. And I'm on a mission to help early childhood leaders build and sustain schools of excellence. So if you want to create a collaborative culture, build efficient systems in your school, and design an environment that can grow your team, then you're in the right place. In the last 15 years that I've been working in the early childhood field, I've become deeply passionate of helping leaders with their mindset, their skills, the tools, and the strategies to build their schools. So each week, I'll share strategies, advice, coaching, and inspiring interviews. I know that you want to create a ripple effect in your school and your life. So let's do this together. There are so many things that you need to focus on as the school leader. For example, you need to take a break. One of your teachers need to use the bathroom. Someone is asking you for glue sticks, or you need to take care of this person who came in for licensing. You are pulled in so many different directions. And all you keep asking yourself is, hey, what am I supposed to focus on? Like, how do I even create a system for this? There's chaos everywhere. Well, luckily, I've had these conversations and I've seen the patterns of the behavior and of what the school leader really needs to focus on in order to be able to build and grow her school. So I've distilled it down to 3 specific pillars. But before we go into and dig into these 3 pillars, I want to ask you something. I know that nobody has unlimited resources, right? There's no such a thing as unlimited time, unlimited money, unlimited anything. But the most constrained resource that you can never get back or never get more of is your time. And so as a school leader, we need to be so vigilant about where we use our time. And are we truly using it on activity that will build our schools? So the most common thing that school leaders will tell me is, I need to work on my culture, Connie. I gotta work on it. I gotta take care of it. Or I hear the flip side. Last year, we really worked on our culture. Like, we've got this, it's solid. This is something you need to print out, tape on your wall, put it on your refrigerator, and paste it everywhere. Culture is not a project. I'm gonna say that one more time. Culture is not a project. Culture is an effect of the leader's daily behaviors, actions, and routines. That means that everything is culture, everything. So if culture is everything, right? Culture sits at the top, the very top of your school building, essentially. And that really filters through into everything. But then we have these 3 pillars right here. And we're gonna get started with our first pillar, which is our DOP. And I'm gonna use the whiteboard here to really explain it very clearly so you can see it visually. So your DOPs are your daily operating principles, okay? Now, what does that stand for? Your daily operating principles are your time management, your meeting structures, and your routines and your habits. So let me unpack that just a little bit over here in this episode. Your time management is how you choose to spend your day. Very simply put, do you run the day or does the day run you? Does your staff get to rule and decide what happens during your day? Do the parents dictate every single part of your schedule? Or do you create your calendar and you decide how you show up in your day? And we're gonna go into that much further in other episodes here on Ripple Effect TV. Your next one is your meetings. We need meeting structures and systems, agendas, purposes, formats, follow-ups, accountability. All of these things are part of the daily pillars of what it takes to build your school of excellence. And lastly are your routines and habits, okay? We all know there's been so much data and so much science that's been done on high performers that have phenomenal routines and habits, because we are our habits, right? No one needs to remind you to brush your teeth in the morning. No one needs to remind you to get those shoes on and go to work. It's a habit. Sure, it's a simple one, but it's still a habit. And your routines and habits are going to dictate the type of culture that you create in your school. So let's go into our second pillar, okay? Our second pillar is our LOP. Our LOP stands for our leadership operating principles. And those are really the three key stakeholders that we have in the school that are making a lot of different decisions in how and when things are going to take place and how that really affects the children. So let's go into that. So our LOPs are the school leader, you, and if you're the director or you're the owner, like it's essentially the person that's running the school. The second one are the teachers, of course. They're a key stakeholder in how everything operates in your school. And lastly are the parents, right? Parents are a definite key stakeholder in how everything happens in the school. They're the lifeblood of the business. And so your LOPs are, how do you interact with these people? So you may be listening to this and thinking, okay, I know I have to focus on how I interact with my teachers. I know I need to focus on how I interact with my parents. What do you mean by how I interact with myself? Yes, how you interact with you and yourself. What do you tell yourself in the morning? What do you feed yourself in the morning? Do you go to sleep on time? All of these things are components that help you become an amazing leader. So let's go into our final pillar, which is our SOPs. Now, most of the time when people are thinking SOPs, they're thinking like, oh, policies and procedures and biting policy and toilet training policy, and those are all super, super important. But what I'm referring to here in your SOPs, which is your standard operating principles, are the standards that you have in your school for how your school operates. So let me give you an example. For those of you that are watching this, you guys know there's a restaurant chain called McDonald's, and there's a standard for the way all McDonald's are set up. When you go in there, you know you're going into a fast food restaurant. So there's the tables there, the chairs, the checkout counters, the furniture, the coloring, the lighting, all has a standard of fast food restaurant. Now, if you go into a restaurant in the city where you're going to pay on average $250 for a couple to eat dinner, let me tell you a little secret. There's going to be a different standard there of the way the restaurant is set up, right? You're not going to be sitting on benches. You're going to be sitting on a plush chair. You're going to have linen. There's going to be china. The standard in the way that the waiters move around and the busboys and all the different people, there's a standard. Now, I have a little funny story to tell you before we go further. So my husband and I have this great restaurant that we love to go to in the city. And whenever I go to new restaurants, I always am checking out and observing the standards in the way that the people are interacting with each other, because I think it says a lot about the leader. So I went to the ladies' room in between, after we placed our order. I went to go to the ladies' room and I saw that there was someone standing right outside of the bathroom with these beautiful napkins. So I'm curious. So I said, what are you doing here? So she's like, oh, when you come out of the bathroom, we have a wet wipe over here just to freshen up before you go back into the restaurant. I'm like, oh, that's fancy. I said, well, let me ask you a different question. How often do you clean the bathrooms here? And she's like, every 30 minutes. I'm like, what? Every 30 minutes? She's like, yeah, that's the standard here. Because anyone that comes in here, the bathroom should be immaculate. Let me tell you something, guys. McDonald's ain't cleaning their toilet every 30 minutes. You're lucky if it's once a day, because that's the standard, okay? So now, let's move this back to early childhood, okay? The standard in your school has an effect on who you attract into your school. So what's your gossip standard? Do you tolerate gossip? What's your sarcasm standard? What's your attendance standard? What's your cell phone standard? What's your standard for the way people hand in meetings, come to meetings or submit deadlines? All of these are part of the quality of the reputation that you are creating for your school. So wow, that was a lot of information and a lot of different parts of all these different pillars to build your school of excellence. And you might be sitting and thinking, whoa, okay, where do I focus first? Do I focus on my standards? Do I focus on my time management? Do I focus on myself, my teachers? Where do I go first? Take a deep breath. I got your back. We created the School of Excellence scorecard, where you can do a diagnostic to assess the strengths and the weaknesses of your school from the lens of the 3 pillars. And after you take the diagnostic, you'll have clarity on this is where I need to focus on and this is where I'm doing amazing. So if you want to take the scorecard, download the link below and you can take the assessment there. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe using the bell so that you get notifications when we release videos twice a week.